for someday. I can feel it in my heart and soul that good is on the way. I let go of holding on to what doesn't treat me right. Treat me right. I saw the darkness, but I chose the light. Like all great souls before me, I questioned the sky, but then I kicked away the fog and I saw that the stars are all aligned. I said the sun will rise tomorrow as I danced around the night, around the night. I saw the darkness, but I chose the tries to stay too long and I can't get rid of fear. I name everything I'm grateful for. I take 3 breaths and I change the gears. I face these choices every day, but I choose with all my might to let love ignite. I saw the darkness, but I chose the light. Saw the darkness, but I chose the light.
Welcome to this beautiful summer morning. I am Reverend Laura DiDonato, your practitioner of today. I can't wait to share a hug with you and see you all in person. My heart fills with joy just thinking about you and your beautiful personalities. This morning's service of music and the wisdom of Reverend Dr. Guy is going to be wonderful for you. I now invite you to join me in connecting with Spirit within. Take a nice deep breath. There is one voice, one pulse of divine source. This life force of charged love energy awakens and flows through me and my spiritual community as I see love in everyone's face. I hear wisdom shared. And from now on, I speak gratefulness in all that I do. I now let go of dwelling on any negative of any kind as I enjoy living in the present, cherishing each experience and this beautiful Sunday service, music and message. As I release, divine truth guides me. Love surrounds me, and joy fills me, and so it is. Namaste. The reading this morning is by Alan Cohen. It takes a lot of courage to release the familiar and seemingly secure, to embrace the new, but there is no real security in what is no longer meaningful. There is more security in the adventurous and exciting, for in movement there is life, and in change there is power. And now I invite you to sit in a quiet space, embracing this moment. Feet connected to the earth like the roots of a tree, and head up high, connected like the top of a tree. I feel grounded in the center of this amazing, loving universe. Taking 3 deep, loving breaths, connecting my mind and heart. As I breathe, divine life force, the wind of spirit, envelops my body with my breathing rhythm. Through the top of my head, a waterfall of light, the highest divine frequency, now vibrates gently throughout my being. I embody my new sensation of awareness of how beautiful and cherished I always am. My heart illuminates as I go deeper into my heart space, letting go of the old, outdated, as it folds and fades away. Forgiving. Let go. Let go. From my divine heart, love now fills my entire physical form, healing every cell with a new vibration of true health. Breathe. Breathe. This moment that is now, I am aligned and shining with unlimited possibilities. Knowing gratitude keeps the door open, I now always attract what will most serve me. My awakened soul is blessed with peace, peace, peace. Divine truth guides me. Love always surrounds me. Joy fills me. And now gently breathe your eyes open to all that is good. Namaste.
It takes a lot of courage to release the familiar and seemingly secure and to embrace the new, but there is no real security in what is no longer meaningful. And so writes Alan Cohen. So welcome to our Sunday celebration. I am so glad that you are here with us today, and welcome to our community. Welcome to the virtual world, whoever you are and wherever you are. And I was so taken with the opening song today by Sarah Rogo, because there's a line in that song that I would say could very well be the theme for today. This month we're talking about the freedom to create. And sometimes there's impediments to that. Sometimes there's things that kind of hold us back from that freedom. But she has this line there where she says, every day we see darkness, but we are the ones who choose the light. And yeah, isn't that true that every day we see frustration and anger, we see loss, we see pain, poverty, we see sickness, we see death, we see all the things that are kind of going on in the world today. But you and I, we are the ones that choose the light. And I have to tell you that there was an incident that happened to me this week that really drove that home. And I'd like to share a little bit about that with you all this week in relationship to the talk. So for those of you who are in the virtual world, you may not know this, and those of you who are in the community probably do know this. So last Saturday, Annie and I, for her birthday, took my motorcycle up to Julian. And on our way home, there was an event that happened that caused me to drop the bike, and both of us are a little bit banged up, and I'll talk some more about that. But one of the things that's come out of that for me, as I've been sort of processing this whole week, is what I noticed about myself is that I have become a bit cynical with everything that's going on. And I have become a little bit negative about things that were happening. You know, Goethe says this. He says, everything in form is but a metaphor. And so let me tell you the story. Let me give you a metaphor of something. So Annie and I are beginning the next leg of our adventure. We had just had breakfast. We got on the motorcycle and we're heading out of town. A guy pulls in front of us. He's literally not even looking. His mind is someplace else. I had to brake. We dropped the bike. We did a little bit of asphalt ballet, and we both got banged up. But here's the thing: is this whole event happened right in front of a restaurant, and yes, we were the show of the day. But more than that is when this event happened in mass, people from the restaurant got up, ran to the street. They helped me ride the bike. They got Annie off the street. They got the bike off the street. They got us chairs. They got us water. They called 911. These people who had no idea who we were reached out and provided everything that we needed. And when the sheriff showed up, they gave the report of what had happened and what they had saw, which kind of corroborated what I was. But, you know, it really awoke something in me. These people didn't know Annie and I. They didn't need to show up. But something in them responded, because at some deep, almost probably written in our DNA, there's something that we know, which is this, is that we're all connected to each other. And when someone needs something, we all respond with this. You know, Ian McLaren makes this statement. He was a 19th century poet, and sometimes the statement that he's made has been attributed to Plato or Socrates or Philo of Alexandria, but it was really this 19th century poet that said it. He says this, he says, "Be kind, because everyone is fighting a great battle." You know, practice kindness, because we really don't know what's going on with the other person. Dr. Martin Luther King says it the same. He says, you know, even the person who is oppressing is needing freedom. Even the guy who has his boot on the neck of the other is in bondage to an idea, a belief, a level of oppression. And that nobody's free until all of us are free. And so that creative force that is alive in this universe, that which was there at the very beginning of all things, that is seeking to fully express itself in all living things, and that the very essence of it is love. And for love to be pure love, there must be freedom. That freedom is yearning to be expressed in all things. What's happening is simultaneously happening everywhere. And one of the great metaphysical truths that we're all beginning to understand more and more is this, is nothing is happening publicly that isn't happening privately. And the metaphysical truth is this, that all creation, every living thing, is breathing together. And that every moment is irrevocable, meaning we can't change the past. Nothing can change what happened to us last Saturday. And I'm sure that there are events in your life as well. You know, every one of us is fighting a great battle, or dealing with a burden, or working through something at some level or another. Every one of us has had events from our past, and those can never change. But what I want to speak about is that this metaphysical thought that this moment that you and I are living in, and the next moment, and the moment after that, is the result of the choices that not just you and I make, but in the choices that each and every person, each and every living thing, the entire planet itself is. We are all participating in this because we all breathe together. We are all one together, and we are all participating together. And so, again, when I think about this experience that happened to us this last weekend, this man didn't set out in malice. I don't think that he woke up and said, "Hey, how can I ruin someone's day?" I think his mind was just someplace else. He was so caught up in something else, he had no idea what was going on in this moment. And as a result of that, as I'm giving this talk today, Andrea is in surgery. Actually, she just got out of surgery. And Tuesday, I will be having surgery on my knee. Our lives are irrevocably changed. The good news is we're going to walk away. We're going to be okay. But the reality is this was a result of another person's choosing to be distracted by something else. And isn't that, again, going back to Goethe's saying, isn't that really what's happening in the world today? Metaphysically speaking, there's an event that happens in all of our lives where we have to grapple with the uncertainty. We have to grapple with what is happening within our own self. And essentially, the thing that we have to grapple with is that we want our own way. We want our own way. And to affirm that thought is to separate us from all that is. Because if we are all breathing together and part of everything together, then really our prayer, our desire, our action should always be, how does bringing balance into my life bring balance into life itself? How do I, in this moment, irrevocably, irresistibly, unabashedly choose life itself? Something that I'm learning in this, which I think is that which brings us the freedom to be creative, is to slow down. I remember years ago I was at a Zen monastery and I was talking to one of the monks there, and then we began walking and I was just chattering away about one thing or another, and to my chagrin the monk stopped and looked at me and said, when we walk, we walk. When we talk, but we don't walk and talk. And that has stayed with me. Not that I don't walk and talk, but to be conscious of the moment that I'm in. Because every moment, if we allow ourselves to be present to it, is filled with beauty and goodness and amazement. And so, how do we slow down? Because let's face it, this world is not going to flourish until we flourish. This world is not going to come into balance until we come into balance. And this world is not going to slow down until you and I slow down and breathe and realize that we're all breathing together. So the next thing that I am sitting with in this is the preciousness of the moment. Because this is the only moment there is, really. The past, as they say, is a memory, and a memory is a story that continues to get distorted to conform to our confirmation bias about what we're telling ourselves that is going on in this moment is because of the things that happened in that moment. But what I got to tell you is this: we got to let that go. We got to let go of telling ourselves a story that says, this is the way it is today because of what happened to me in the past. This is the moment. This is the moment, irrevocably, irreversibly. And the choices that we are making in this moment, not in the past, but in this moment, and that we can consciously choose at every given day. And again, I go back to this guy, the damage that can be done at the level of unconsciousness. It's not so much about evil or malice at that level of intent. It's more about just not being aware. Just not being aware because we're so caught into overdrive. But if we slow down, if we breathe, and we begin to appreciate the beauty that is there and all that's happening for us. John Michael Greer, in his book, The Mystery Teachings from the Living Earth, says this: even the most intensely personal of your decisions made in the silence of your own heart and never expressed to any intentional action radiates outward through voice, gesture, posture, and mood, as well as subtler expressions of consciousness, to the effect that the whole system around you choose hate, even if you never act on your hatred, and you will make the world around you a more hateful place. For as you as well, for all other beings, choose love, and the reverse is equally true. Choose love. And isn't that the great teaching that we say? Isn't that at the end of the day the great message? Choose love. Darkness doesn't drive out darkness, only light does. Hate doesn't drive out hate, only love does. Anger doesn't drive out anger, only love does. And so for us to heal the world, to participate, to be authentic in our freedom to create the good that we're wanting to create, in this moment, we choose love. And so the second thing to remember is this, is that every moment, this moment, every present moment is irreversible. So what we are choosing today is irreversibly setting in motion what will be. And so to think of the magnitude and the importance that we can't afford the luxury of a negative thought, that we can't afford to narcotize ourselves, to numb ourselves, to be unaware, and that we can't afford to live in a future. In this moment is irreversible. This moment is the God moment. This moment is the precious moment. And finally, to consider this, that our prayer, our action, our life is always asking this question: how do I return to balance? Because any suffering that we're having is probably because we're out of balance someplace. So how do I return to balance? Because when I return to balance, I am participating in bringing all the world to balance. And imagine if each of us practiced these things, that we understood that we are all together, and so we breathe together responsibly, aware, compassionately, that we honor and are grateful and are excited and are amazed at every moment because of the preciousness and the irrevocability of this moment. And so we are responsible with deep and abiding gratitude. And we are always bringing it into balance. Always bringing it into balance. And what good, what beauty, what joy there would be to live in a world that works for all. And you know, this is my commitment because I believe it is possible. And I invite you to join with me and to commit with me in organizing our lives accordingly. So let us hold this thought in consciousness, that which brought all things into being is that which lives in us, and that the power of all creation is the power that is within each and every one of us. And the wisdom that set all things in motion is the wisdom that is available to each and every one of us. And that the very essence of all that is love, and in love, freedom, is the very truth of who you are and who I am. And we are deeply grateful in this moment. And so we bless it. We give thanks. We let it be. And so it is. Thank you once again for being part of our Sunday celebration. I'd like to thank our artists, Mike Reardon, always. Mike, your artwork is inspiring and beautiful. And for those of you that like it, go to his website, check it out. Really, it's worth your while. I'd like to thank our artist today, Sarah Rogo. You gave us such a beautiful song. It's become sort of a mantra. Even in this darkness, we choose light. And this beautiful song from Girish, you know, there's this great Sanskrit prayer that he offers us. Loka samasta sukhino bhavantu. May all beings be safe and happy. And may my life be a quickening unto that. And how appropriate for this Sunday's talk. I'd also like to thank those that are part of the Sunday experience now. Marilyn Halder and Steve Burns, who are part of the production team right now. And of course, Michelle Dixon for all that she does. How she takes all this raw information and truly creates a work of art that all of us can celebrate together. Laura Donato, you gave a beautiful prayer and meditation this morning. Thank you. And for those of you, please know that she, like all the practitioners, are available for prayer support. You can find their information right there at the website. And when you're there, and please go, there is so much stuff that we are uploading every week. There are guided meditations that you can use anytime you want to. There are music videos to delight your soul and inspire you. There are prayers. There are talks and yoga classes, and more and more and more content is being loaded up. Our virtual community continues to grow and expand, and it does because of you. Because you share, you subscribe, and you support. So please continue to do so. You know, share with your friends, send the message out, like us on Facebook, like us on YouTube, subscribe to our channel, and again, for your continual and generous support in these times. You know, we're recreating who we are with less income because of restrictions that are happening in the world today. And each and every one of you, you know, we're all breathing together. We're all part of this together. And so your continual and generous support is not only essential, it is so gratefully appreciated and accepted. And so for each of you, and for those whom you love, and those whom you receive love from the bottom of my heart, in deep, deep gratitude, many, many blessings.
Loka samasta Loka samasta Sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta Sukhino bhavantu. And wish I like diamonds in the sun. Every one of us shines. Wish I like diamonds in the sun. Every one of us. And wish I like diamonds in the sun. Every one of us. Every one of us shines. Wish I like diamonds in the sun. Every one of us. May all beings be happy and free. May all beings be happy and free. Loka samasta Sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta Sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta Sukhino bhavantu. Loka samasta Sukhino bhavantu. And wish I